coming up in Judge Fleischer's courtroom.
I would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not supposed to have alcohol in the car while you are driving, Mr. Tayun. Do you have a Texas driver's license? Look at me.
Míreme, no,
Not
a usted
allowed
no
to
se le
drive.
permite.
Mac is the last name?
Sir.
All right, you are Eric Matthew Mack.
Sir.
Mr. Mack, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're also charged with interference to the duties of a public servant. On both of those, you're facing up to 6 months in jail. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 30th, 2024, officers were patrolling an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas, that is known to have a high amount of crime. Officers are familiar with the property manager who has complained about trespassers in the past. There were multiple no trespassing, no loitering signs throughout the apartment complex. Officer observed the defendant walking around the apartment complex wearing a hoodie with the hood up and a mask covering his whole face and holding an unknown object in his pocket. Officer asked if the defendant lived in the complex, and the defendant did not answer. Officers believe that crime was afoot as defendant refused to remove his hands from his pocket. Officers attempted to Terry frisk the defendant for any weapons. The defendant refused to be patted down for weapons. Officers attempted to detain him for a criminal trespass investigation, but he refused to be placed in handcuffs. He resisted to be placed in handcuffs, and it took 4 minutes. It took 4 deputies to detain him as he kept pulling away and moving his hands away from each other. It was determined that the defendant did not reside at the apartment complex.
Mr. Mack, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, sir? What do you do for a living? Why not? Sorry?
You're retiring.
I can't hear you.
Retiring.
There are so many people that are hiring. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's the next move in your life? You're 21. You ain't got no job. What are you doing with your life?
Sir. Military.
That would be a great idea. Holy moly. That would be awesome. Really. That will give you structure. It'll give you discipline, and it'll get you a job. That would be a fantastic thing to do. But jobless, no prospects, no future at 21, that's not going to bode well for you. So I'll appoint your lawyer today, but it's one of the two things. Great idea if you want to go to the military. If not, you must get a job, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. Do you understand?
Sir.
You cannot just smoke weed and play Xbox and do nothing all day without no regard to your future. It's not going to happen. So 2 things. I don't want you going back to this location, and I don't want you to have any weapons. Do you understand?
Sir.
I will have you fill out an application. I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks, and I want to see what you have done to get a job. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well. Do you understand, Mr. Mack?
Sir.
You got to do something with your life, because if not, you're going to be hunchless, just on the side of the road, begging for money without a prospect. That's not a good way to go through life. Do you understand?
Sir.
All right, come on, Stephen, I'll give you an application. You'll sign a reset with Ramona, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Are you Arnaldo Bernabe Larios Tayun?
Yes, sir.
Order in the court, please.
You were charged with driving while intoxicated. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, on October 31st, 2024, officers were dispatched at 2:46 a.m. to report to the motor vehicle sitting in the intersection of a public roadway in Harris County, Texas.
No, just a tap.
Yes,
Please.
of course.
Order in the court.
Vehicle was
The vehicle was
El
sitting
vehículo
in the
estaba
intersection
estacionado en
of
la
a public
intersección de
roadway
una carretera en la calle pública
in Harris County,
del condado
Texas,
de Harrison,
with the
Texas,
driver
con el
asleep at the
chofer ahí
wheel.
dormido en el volante.
Upon
El perdido,
arrival,
los policías,
officers located
ellos
defendant's motor vehicle
encontraron el
and
vehículo
observed
sobre
defendant
manos
to be the
y lo
sole
vieron que era el
occupant
único
of the
que estaba
vehicle.
en el vehículo.
Upon
Cuando
contact with the
hicieron contacto
defendant,
con el acusado,
officers
los
observed
oficiales
red
vieron
glossy
que tenía
eyes,
ojos vidriosos,
slurred speech, and an
tartamudea para
odor of
hablar y un
alcoholic
olor de alcohol
beverage emitting from the
que provenía
defendant's person,
de su persona.
along with poor
Cuando
balance.
él también no se podía balancear.
The defendant
El
admitted to
acusado
drinking,
admitió de que
and
había
an
tomado
inventory
y
of
cuando
the
hicieron
vehicle
inventario del vehículo,
yielded several
vieron
open,
de que
cold to the
varios
touch beer cans,
Drinking
abiertos,
while driving.
siendo y tomando
most of which were mostly
cuando
empty.
la mayor parte estaban vacíos.
SFSTs were
Las
conducted,
FST se hicieron
6 out of 6
6 de 6 del
HGN,
HGN,
plus vertical gaze
también el
nystagmus,
nystagmus vertical,
and 3 out of 4
y
one-leg
3
stand.
de 4 de pararse en una sola pierna.
The defendant
El
failed to perform the
acusado
walk and turn
no pudo
because he
hacer
failed to
caminar y
follow
voltear porque no
instructions.
siguió las instrucciones.
DICs were read but
Entonces se le
refused,
leyó,
and a
se
warrant was
negó,
signed and
entonces se
executed.
firmó una
He
orden y
has
se
no driver's license,
hizo.
judge, and
No
no
tenía
prior criminal
licencia ni
history.
tampoco tenía ningún antecedentes.
I would hope
Yo,
that you recognize it's elementary that you're not supposed to have alcohol in the car while you are driving, Mr. Tayun.
señor Tayun,
Do you have a Texas driver's license? Look at me.
míreme, no,
Not
a usted
allowed
no
to
se le
drive.
permite conducir.
What is your immigration status? Are you a United States citizen?
¿Es ciudadano americano?
No.
No,
Are you in this country with or without permission?
without.
What happens if you go to jail?
That's not her place.
I don't know, I believe that return me to my country.
Right.
Cierto.
You will sit
Usted va
in jail
a la cárcel.
waiting for this case to be over with, and then you will be shipped off to immigration.
Lo mandan con
But you will
migración.
sit in immigration custody for about 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. And I'm going to tell you now, the incoming president is not very sympathetic
Ese no es muy
with people
simpático.
who are in immigration custody.
Ay,
Do you understand?
¿entiende? Yes, sir.
I'm putting conditions on
La
you
primera condición
and your bond. And if you violate it in any way, then you will go to jail. The reason you got out as quick as you did is because we gave you a free bond. It will not happen again. You violate conditions. More importantly, if you drive, because I'm ordering you not to, then I'm going to make your bond extremely high.
Entonces,
This is a promise that you're going to make to me today, that you're not going to drive. And I don't care what is going on in your life.
a mí no me
You
importa.
drive. I can have a contempt hearing. You will be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. So if you drive 3 times, I will have 3 contempt hearings. You are also not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, you will go to jail.
Consumiendo la-
And let me be frank with you. If they charge you with the open container, that is a minimum of 5 days in jail. And I'm going to tell you, if you do anything more than 4 hours in custody, you will be stuck like Chuck in custody with an immigration detainer. Do you understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to
Va a
drive?
jurar eso, no.
I'm not done yet. After that, you will get to Ramona where you will sign a reset.
Va a firmar la-
After that, you'll get with Fleischer for your bond conditions. This is the only warning that you will get from us, Mr. Tayun. So take it. If not, you will spend a lot of time with us. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir. Now you may go.
Yes,
The earliest appointment you could get to start your GED is in January. Really? Really?
I already have the place where I'm supposed to go register. They told me I gotta wait until the first.
Are you working now, Mr. Dame?
I'm working right now, that's why.
What are you doing?
My warehouse. I call it like dropping. I call it like pellets. They're taking out the truck.
January is too far off. Unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's too far off.
Because they don't have none right now available. They're all
I'll go
pellets.
somewhere else. Where are you looking now?
Harris County
Harris County.
Department of Education.
Why not go somewhere else?
'Cause, I don't have money like that to be spending right now. Because I still got to pay my bond. That's
How much is that one right there?
it's free. They're free. The programs are free.
Victoria, do we have any like programs to get a GED that are like low income, low? Do you know of anything that's available? That's 2 months away. There's no
Yeah.
way. We're gonna find you something quicker. You have to get started on it now. If you don't get started on it now and you wait till January, you're never gonna do anything. You're gonna sit just wasting away. And that's not, we need to get started now
Yes,
while
sir.
you're with us right now. I'm also now going to send you for a drug and alcohol test. I want to make sure that you're clean. If you're clean, I'm going to be very happy. Mr. Adame, I hope you're not using.
Yes, sir.
All right. Just go ahead, take a seat for me. I want to make sure that I want to see what we can do to try to get him into something quicker than just January. Morning, Mr. Cabrera.
Sir.
How's jail? You're clean, right? Ultimately, that's what matters, that you're staying clean. We have you evaluated to see how we go forward because I don't know. I don't know you. All I know is your history, and your history is not good. And if I had to bet, and if I was a betting man, I bet most of the charges that you have here are drug and alcohol related. You now have the ability that if you put your heart and soul into it, you could make this thing work and last for a long time to keep you out of trouble. I have a program that's probably valued at around $15,000 to $30,000 for people who are in the outside world, who a lot of times can't afford it. I know you don't want to do it, but I think that's probably the best thing for you. I mean, you've got how many, theft, weed, delivery, burglary, delivery, theft, possession, trespass, and now you got, we're working 20 priors here. Now's the time to make use of it before you dig yourself into a catastrophic hole that you never come out of. And if you don't believe me, watch online. Look at how many people end up with a 25 to 40-year sentence because of dope they can't get away from, and they use that as an excuse. I'm not going to let you sit here and go outside and say, the system failed you. It's not going to happen here. We have the ability. We're going to use it. Do you have any questions?
If we go through with the program, am I gonna have to wait in here till they come and pick me up, or y'all gonna release me into the program now? I don't want to have to waste time in here just sitting here.
It's a 2-week wait, but Shatoria said she can expedite it for a week. So you'll be in it in a week.
Doing the program within a week. Within a week?
Which is great. Because
That's fantastic.
usually when you're upstairs in felony courts, the wait's like 2 months.
Everybody's telling me that they're waiting for a program 3 months, and
And don't listen to those jailhouse lawyers. You know about that. You know what I mean? That's why they're there. Don't listen to them. Here, we got the goods, and it's a week to get you in. But make use of it. That way you don't end up back out there. Learn a trade. Do something worthwhile. Okay,
paperwork together.
done. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Wilson. Sir, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 6 days in jail, credit for the 11 that you've done. So you've served your time basically, but you need to understand the charge will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any charges that you pick up. You understand? Is this what you want to do? You give up a lot of rights by doing this, sir. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences, or you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this or undo this. This is what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
All right. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
I'll find you guilty, sentence you to 6 days in jail, give you credit for the 11, I'll roll your court costs. Good luck to you, sir. Thanks. You're Dwayne Leon Leroy.
Yes, sir.
So Leroy, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with reckless driving. On the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months of jail and or a $2,000 fine. On your other case, you're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
November 3rd, 2024, officers observed defendant's motor vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, 105 miles per hour, making unsafe lane changes, cutting off several other vehicles, and driving through narrow 2-lane construction zones and on the Sam Houston Tollway. The officer was able to catch up with the defendant and initiate a traffic stop. Officer made contact with the driver and observed mild odor of alcoholic beverage, red bloodshot eyes, and a slight sway. Officer observed a brown bottle of alcoholic beverage under the passenger seat, open and half empty. SFST is administered, HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, 1 leg stand 3 out of 4. Defendant denied drinking anything, then claimed to have only consumed 1 beer. DICs were read and breath was refused. Blood search warrant was obtained and executed.
Are you telling me that he's going through a construction zone at 105 miles an hour?
That's what I have here, Judge, per the dams.
Any prior DWIs? You mind checking? Or any kind of other reckless driving?
I don't see anything that has to do with driving on the record.
There's a lot of construction on the Tollway Road. If you're going that fast, probably pass through it,
Like,
rather
you're
quickly.
supposed to slow down at an extreme slow place when you're extremely slow pace when you're going through a construction zone.
Right.
Mr. Leroy, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case, and I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You're not allowed to drive at all. Do you understand? You will be signing an affidavit with me, and I hope you take it seriously, because if not, you will be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. And I don't care what your excuse is. Mother Teresa needs a ride to church. You come down, we will have a hearing, and you're facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of dope, likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These are 2 different affidavits that you're going to be signing. So if I find that you drive, and I don't care what it's for, I will have 2 contempt hearings every time you drive. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Agle, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he comes back to me and tells me he can't get a hold of you, you pick up a new case. You violate conditions, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll have you go.
Thanks.
Okay. Sorry to keep you waiting. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Bishop?
Shh.
So Mr. Peters is wanted out of Caddo Parish on issuing a worthless check. I'm assuming this correlates to like issuing a bad check here in Texas.
Okay.
And so I would be asking for a bond so he could go to Louisiana and take care of this business out there and resolve it.
So he's on felony probation for false statement obtaining credit, picks up a DWI second, and now he's got this case.
Correct. I've told him what that DWI might do to his probation.
Mr. Fisher, ma'am.
Don't say anything about the DWI because you're on felony probation for a very serious up to 10-year probation. You picked up a new case, and now you have another case in Louisiana. I mean, really.
I had no idea about the case in Louisiana, sir. I had just went to the Army base in Killeen. I was working for Bobtail Crane, and when they escorted us into the military base, nothing popped up about a charge or anything else like that. I had no clue about this. If I would have known about this, I could have easily took care of this whatsoever.
But the problem is that stuff keeps happening. When do we say when?
Sir, like I said in the case for the DWI, I was not drunk. I was on my way to work.
Billy, don't,
Talk about specifics.
now's not the time to fight those
Yes,
cases.
so-
My only point is that it just, stuff keeps happening.
Yes, sir.
State's asking for no bond. In addition to the federal probation he's on right now, we're also seeing.
He's on federal probation too?
I'm sorry, I thought you said federal, but the 3-year probation that he was on right now from the 185th out of 2022. He also had a deferred revoked in 2010 from Montgomery County that resulted in 10 months of TDC. He also had another TDC trip for tampering on a government record in 2008. He had an evading of a motor vehicle, which is a state jail felony that was reduced to a lesser evading for the 351st in 2007. He's also had a couple theft arrests that resulted in dismissals. He's also on a DWI second here in.
How many trips you got? 2?
Sir,
How times you been to the pen?
it was just one time, sir. It was just
You're
one
saying
time.
how many times you've been to the penitentiary, Amy?
I'm seeing at least 2 here for TDC.
No,
One in 2008 and another in 2008 from Montgomery.
no. It was only one time.
Here's the thing. If you have 2 pen trips, you're what's labeled a true habitual. Anytime you pick up a serious felony, you're looking at 25 to life. So when you're out there in the free world, you have to be extra special good, because if not, you could be looking at a minimum of 25 years to life.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm just giving you facts.
Judge, if I could argue for my client a little bit, he does have criminal history. The issue here is he's got this DWI. He's made bond on that. He's got a bond there. He is on deferred as well on the 185th. I don't show a court date there. I don't see anything happening there as of yet. The only thing he's here in front of you right now is for issuing a worthless check out of Louisiana. This is something that could easily be taken care of possibly by paying something even from here. If not, he is willing to go to Caddo Parish and avail himself to that parish and figure that out. It's not a serious case, Judge. He does have history. He was, from what he tells me, he was unaware that this popped up. I don't know when this actual case was issued, when it was presented, when it was filed.
Is this a new case? Is this an old case?
It was issued October 31st. The offense date was September 14th.
Of this year, October 31st of this year?
The warrant was issued
I'm
this
sorry,
year.
24?
Yes, the warrant was issued this year. The offense date was September of last year.
October 31st of this year.
They issued the warrant on October of 24. But the actual alleged offense date is
September of last year.
of 23. Okay.
So less than a month, Judge. He's been in Texas.
My problem and my concern are 2 things, though, Mr. Peters. Number 1, are you a danger to the community? Number 2 is you've got a lot of theft cases, and theft cases where other people are involved. So if I set you a bond, is it someone else's money that's going to pay for you to get out? You know, you've got a false statement to obtain credit. You've got a bunch of theft cases. Now you've got another theft case out of Louisiana. So is it someone else's money that's paying for you to get out? And then when we get you out, are you still a danger to the community? You know what I mean? Perception is reality, Mr. Peters, and your record speaks for itself.
Can I say something, Mr. Fisher?
Just don't talk about the
No,
cases.
I'm not talking about the cases. We all have a past. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Fisher? Some of us been called, some of us haven't been called. But at the end of the day, I have changed my life and turned myself around. Since all of those things that you have talked about, I have been driving trucks. I have been doing right by the community. I have custody of my 11-year-old son, that I am being an example of what a man should be. I have done everything that I'm supposed to do, Mr. Fisher. I'm not out here causing chaos and controversy about anything out here in society. I speak at the local church.
DWI 2 days ago, a second DWI. You're on the felony deferred, and now you've got a fugitive case.
Mr. Fisher, that was, again, I was not under the influence. I had just got out for work at Bobtail Crane. That's when that transpired. I told the officer that I did not have anything to do with the drink. He said, because your eyes are red. That does not solidify me as being drunk. I was tired. I just worked 16 hours.
Don't talk about
Yeah,
specifics.
don't
of the case that's
okay.
open.
How much is the value of the check?
It was like 511. It's under 1,000.
Judge, he hasn't made a mistake in your court. We're just asking.
But my concern, Ricardo, is where is he gonna get the money to pony it up?
Well, Judge, I know you're speculating that it could be the public's money, but it could also be his money. I mean, he's been working for 5 years. He's got a CDL. He worked at Superstar Logistics for 5 years before working for Bobcat Crane. So he's been gainfully employed. It could easily be his money. I mean, there's nothing to say that it's the public's money or anything like that. He's got a history, but he's got no history with you. And so that being the case, I would ask that he be allowed to make this right. If he messes up at that point, I got nothing to say. But at this point, he hasn't messed up in your court.
Opposed to a bond? What if we set a high bond? You know, I mean, it's gonna be a couple thousand. You know, it's gonna be 5 to 10,000.
I can stop you, Judge, but our position is no bond.
You know, the problem is that you're an inherent flight risk. So if I set you a bond, you're gonna have to pony up all that kind of money to get out. This is no 10% deal. You're a fugitive case, man. So when we set you a bond, you have to post it in its entirety. No 10%, no 20%. Just because of everything that you have open, you are an inherent flight risk. So you got to be aware of that. So if I do set you a bond, it's going to be at least, you know, 5,000, 7,500.
So there's no way possible that I can, if it's 100% of that bond, there's no way possible that I can do that, man. I'm trying everything in my power. Got a good job and everything else like that.
I will say this,
but this is just
not all bad news, because you're not wanted out of like Wyoming, Montana, Alaska, Louisiana. We have so many people here from Louisiana. We have buses coming about twice a week to pick up people to take them back and to bring them to from Louisiana. We really have, it's incredible the amount of people we have. So around 2 times a week, we have people shuffling in and out of Louisiana. What I would say is you should save your money and use that to hire a lawyer in Louisiana to fight your case. Because I'm telling you, has he waived yet?
Yes.
You'll be out of here within the next 2 to 3 days if you keep your waiver.
Judge, if I may reiterate something, we're at November 7th. I'm still confused whether this was issued the 24th or the 31st. Either way, it's less than, even if it was the 24th, we're talking less than 2 weeks that this warrant has been open. He's got no knowledge of this. All of a sudden, he's being held 14 days in custody with something that just popped up. He's been in Texas working. I don't even know when the last time he was in Louisiana. This has been less than a month that he could have had notice that this was even present. They don't call him and tell him, hey, you got a warrant out. It's completely plausible that he didn't know that this was open. It hasn't been sitting for a year. It's been sitting for less than 2 weeks.
Ricardo, the offense date was September 23, so it would have been like a year.
The offense date, but when was the warrant issued?
October of this year.
October 24th or 31st?
October 2024.
Okay, so we're at November 7th. Less than 2 weeks. I'm saying he had no notice that there was a warrant issued for him. He didn't know that.
Okay.
He didn't know the case was open. I don't know the last time he was in Louisiana. He hasn't been able to make this right. He's saying he didn't have notice of this. The warrant has been open.
I mean, I understand your argument, right? But it's still got to set him a bond. If he wants a bond, I'm going to set it, you know, at a minimum 5 to 7,500, you know,
Okay.
And then you're going to probably have to make, I would assume, a good amount of that. That's just the nature of the beast when it comes to fugitive cases, right? But like I said, if you keep your waiver, chances are within the next 2 to 3 days, you'll be out of here regardless. You need to make the decision, but it's a matter of you're paying a ton of money to get out when you could also save that money and hire yourself a lawyer.
Judge, one last thing. So we're talking about 100%. We're talking about.
I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. I've never been in the bonding business, so I have no idea.
That's my understanding as well, that it's going to be 100%.
He's got a laundry list of priors. He's got 2 open cases here. He's got a fugitive case out of another state. Most probably a bonding company is going to want quite a bit of jack up front because you're a flight risk. You know, not only that, you're on a PR bond on the DWI second that they gave you. If you get held up there, it's very possible they revoke your bond on the DWI second. And then in the position you are here, you're going to be in the exact same position over there.
That's why I'm saying, Your Honor. That's why I'm saying, Your Honor. I'm trying to get out there, handle it, and make it clear so that I can handle.
I know that you're
everything
trying
else.
to get out, but my job is to protect the community.
Judge Fleischer, Jay says he's in the Zoom room.
Oh. Sorry, got a day coming in.
All right.
Mr. Kim.
Hi, Judge. Are we
Hey,
still
dude.
approaching on Peters?
Yeah, he's in front of us now.
Okay. I'm playing catch up, but Amy told me that you were considering a bond regarding this defendant.
Yes.
So I have strong objections to a bond being granted to for this fugitive case. I don't know if Amy has already relayed, and I don't know if you're familiar, but I was actually the prosecutor that put him on the deferred in the 185th. It was a PSI, and I was the prosecutor assigned to the case. And the 185th, when Judge Wong was still on the bench, is that he put him on a deferred, but he also had jails as a condition of his probation because they were concerned with how many thefts he had, along with the anti-theft course. And the reason why that's pertinent here is because what he's wanted for is issuing worthless checks issued on October 31st, 2024. On top of that, he's violated that deferred by committing another DWI second, along with a Conroe charge. And so he has
a charge in Conroe as well.
Well, it's finished now, but I believe it was after the deferred. Let me go back, Judge. It was on. Oh, there was two. Oh no, sorry, I was thinking of the older one. I thought there was a newer one. My mistake. It was older. But that still doesn't take away from the other arguments presented. Is that it's the same type of offense, less than 3 years after he was put on the deferred, in addition to the second violation in county, which the court can see. And that was as recent as 2 days ago.
Has the court given you any kind of guidance as what they're going to do? Do you know? I mean, I don't see.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard anything from the 185th, but because this fugitive case, the warrant was issued out on October 31st, there's nothing to say that the 185th won't revoke his deferred for the violation. So on top of the DWI sec, to say nothing of the fact that there are obviously technicals because there is a positive for alcohol. So it's a combination of things that even if the court grants a bond here, if they revoke or file the prosecutors in the 185th file a motion to revoke, he's going to be without a bond there anyway.
Judge, two things. If it is 100%, we're talking about $5,000. That would be a $50,000 bond on a worthless check case out of Louisiana.
You have so many variables here that are in play at this moment, Mr. Peters, that you could literally pay $5,000 to get out now, and then they issue a felony warrant tomorrow in your probation case that would literally be throwing $5,000 down the drain. I would be very careful. I mean, I don't know how much money you have. I know I don't have that much money, but if you have just enough money to throw $5,000 away, I would be very careful because, like I'm telling you, they could any day now file a motion to revoke your probation. Felony warrant's going to issue, and then all the money that you are putting into this is just it's out the tubes. It's out the window.
Yeah, I have to at least save my job so that I can do what I need to do to fight that DWI case. Nevertheless, I'm an innocent man until proven guilty. So whatever crimes I have done in the past, I have paid my time for that. I had did that when I was a younger man. I'm no longer that younger man that I was.
Kidding? Who are you kidding? Done this when I was a younger man. It's a year and a half ago. You're on probation. Now you picked up a DWI. Now you got this. I mean, really, who are you kidding yourself? Just look. Just if you want me to set the bond, I'm going to set it at around $500 to $7,500. Okay, if you want to do it, do it. I'll give you time to consider. But I'm telling you, probably not one of the wisest ideas because within the next 2 to 3 days, you'll be out of here if you don't pony up that money. And it's very possible that they, any day now, file that motion to revoke because they're going to let the 185th know that you've picked up 2 cases from the time that you've been on probation, right? You have. You picked up a new case in Louisiana. You picked up a case here, right? While you've been on probation. That's not one of the things that you're supposed to do. So any moment, lickety spit, they're going to file a motion to revoke. And if
Actually, Your Honor, if I may, if the court does set a bond, then I'm gonna ask Amy. I would be in court right now, but I'm under the weather and I don't want to risk anybody else. And so if the court does intend to set a bond, then I'm gonna send an email out to the 185th right now to see if they'll revoke the deferred.
up to you.
Talk to him about where we're
You
at.
guys talk. I don't want you to make a rash decision just because you got blinders on your eye to get out. When you guys are in the driver's seat, let me know what you want to
Talk
do.
to him
Don't
about
make
where we're at, Judge.
don't make a decision right here. Take your time, think about it, and then let me know what you want to do.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Varela Aviles, you're charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked in agreement. They're offering you 1 year deferred adjudication. That is a type of probation that if you successfully complete it, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. But you got to understand, you give up nearly every right known to man by entering into this agreement. And if you violate this agreement, you're looking at 180 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
To successfully complete this agreement, you must complete a thinking for a change class, a driver safety class, and you must also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. If they assess further conditions, you must fulfill those conditions, whatever they may be. I don't know. No drugs, no alcohol, and 10 hours of community service. You will also undergo random urinalysis. Is this how you understand the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
I will make it sweeter for you. If you do everything well, I'll take you off in half the time. But that means no racing, don't test positive, and most importantly, be nice to everybody.
I don't do drinks, I don't do drugs, I don't do nothing.
Be nice to your probation officer because they have your life in their hands. They can either, give you a good time or make your life miserable. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses, testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this. Is this what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the offense of racing on a highway?
Guilty.
I will not find you guilty. I will withhold that. Like I said, do well, we'll reward you. If you don't do well, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. I will put you in jail. We're going to have a hearing to see whether you violated this probation. If you did, you're looking at 180 days. Do you have any questions? All right, good luck to you, Mr. Bell. Thank you. You speak English?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Leha, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked that agreement that they're offering you 25 days in jail, credit for the 11 days. Is this what you want to do?
Yes.
You need to understand that this is going to go on your record. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. You give up a lot of rights by entering the agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, front cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this. How do you plead to the offense, sir? How do you plead to the offense? I will find you guilty. Follow the agreement. Good luck to you, Mr. Leha. Thank you, Joey. All right, Mr. Martinez. You picked up a DWI second probation. You were lucky enough. You were lucky enough that they even reduced it to a first DWI, thereby foregoing the minimum of 5 days in jail. Lucky enough that you even got it reduced to a first, where you would avoid 5 minimum days in jail. And now you get on a probation. And what, if anything, did you do?
No.
He never reported after being placed on probation.
Nunca se reportó después de haber sido puesto a libertad judicial.
All right, Dan.
Perdón.
Now time to pay the
Ahora es
piper.
momento de pagar.
I'm not going to let you go.
No lo
It's
voy a
not
dejar
fair
ir.
to
No es
every single
justo.
person
Cada
who
persona
complies with the probation,
que la libertad
especially
realmente
when this is a DWI second. And now,
¿verdad?
that's it.
Todo.
You didn't do anything.
No hizo nada.
You can't possibly expect for me to just let you walk out of
De
here.
que usted pueda irse de aquí libre.
So
Entonces,
we do something today. Today is the day set for hearing. I don't know, we need to do something, but it's
What would the court consider, Judge?
consideraría
60.
60? I thought it was 45, Judge.
Pensaba que era 45.
Okay. You want 45?
¿Quieres 45? Está bien.
And I don't mean to throw it at you that way, Judge. I just-
No, Dan, I'm, look, typically on these types of things, it's about, where,
Alrededor de eso.
but you have to understand,
Tienen que entender.
we mean business and we take public safety
La seguridad es
absolutely serious and it's not fair.
serio. No,
And you can't expect
no puede esperar.
to be on a second DWI probation. You do absolutely nothing
Absolutamente
and
nada.
you think you're going to walk out of here.
Que piensa que puede
It
ir.
doesn't work like that.
No funciona.
Because you have to imagine that if that were to happen, that wouldn't be me telling you it's okay for you to do nothing and you get to walk out of here. When it's not,
Cuando no es
it's not okay.
está-
And you have to understand that
desde
you'll
que
probably be out of here in, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks.
una semana
But for the rest of your life,
de su vida,
if you ever have even the slightest smell of alcohol on your breath, from now on, you'll be facing up to 10 years in prison. So I would never,
entonces yo nunca
even if you had a sip of alcohol, get in a car
tengo un vehículo.
and drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And I am now, has this license or did we suspend this license on the first one?
And Your Honor, he'd be going straight into immigration custody after Harris County.
I don't know that for sure.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Dan, you never know.
Yes, sir.
We have,
Yes, sir.
I know,
Yo sé que
and I really appreciate Dan because he fights tooth and nail for all of his clients and he's doing what he can to try to get you out of this. But
es verdadero.
you have to understand,
Tiene que entender.
if it's a first,
Y eso primero,
but on a second,
el segundo,
no. Okay, so 45
Yes, sir.
and license, did he have one? Okay, so I'll just leave it as is. All right,
Counselor Judge, credit for any background?
for sure, absolutely. All right, goes with you. Hey,
I apologize, Judge. I've got one of my own and it's just too complicated. I'll let Mr. Paris explain it.
is it really Paris?
Yes, Judge.
Huh.
Like the city just felt funny. Portuguese, right? Yeah.
What do we got?
Last name is Andrews. First name is Paris.
In custody or on bond?
He is currently taking a drug test for his felony for ordering.
Mr. Andrews.
So he had felony court today as well. He came here, went to felony court told him to go get drug tested. Came back here, let me know that he was going to get drug tested, and that's, I'm assuming he's getting drug tested. They have set him for the 15th for an assessment in felony court.
DRAS?
The paperwork's unclear. He handed me what they handed him. I'm assuming that's what it's for, but that's next Friday.
God, it's so old. We had said it, today was the day to set up a trial, right?
Oh yeah, this is the crazy man. Not to be impolite. Well, so this is the arson where
yes, arson,
he
attacking
Okay, the
cop.
arson, assault on a peace officer, and now the evading.
So he runs, I think he gets accosted by the police are trying to talk to him because he's going nuts. And then he flees into the apartment. And then I don't think he starts a fire. I think there was something on the stove, he throws it or something. But yeah, it's a
How
mental
much
health.
damage is
It's a
there?
mental health issue.
Is there significant damage to the apartment?
Yeah.
So it looks like for the HFD investigation, he put a doormat and a plastic pan on top of burners and then turned them on. So the fire
Yeah.
originated from the stove.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I
that
think he
could
tried
have
to jump out of a
catastrophic.
window. Or,
Holy moly.
it's
See
a,
a baby. Jump out a window.
he has some mental health problems. The
Where do you-
problem, I am not going to plead anything, ever, because I have the same transaction as the felony.
So let's set it.
I have no objection as long as we have a little bit of a distance, because I'm gonna have to try the felony in a misdemeanor court, which means that my prep will be a little bit higher.
Look, we're not, I don't think now we're setting cases until the new year anyways.
Oh, I'm
So
fine.
you're probably not gonna get till the second week of January.
I like it, Judge.
Just, we got too much stuff in December. And then the cutoff date for trials is the 10th. So really.
Yeah.
We don't have juries after that time. So
Oh, wait, hold on, when's the last jury panel?
10th.
Excellent. I'm still on the 13th in felony court. I'm gonna be great.
Well, is that right? I thought it was the 10th, the last day for juries. Oh,
It's the day.
so we need to set this case for trial. I don't think we have time this year, do we?
I don't like phrasing it that way. I vote for January. No, 14th.
Okay.
7th, I will be in a water park or something, I don't know.
I will say, I think we talked to Ramona about this. We will not be in this court on the 14th. Yeah.
Where we all be?
When is, no, but I thought it was the first week of January that you're out.
Baby day school? Oh, Austin
We
is
do the
here.
7th.
Excellent. I will be, whenever they're at baby DA school, supervising them.
So you don't want to do the 7th? No, that's too far out, man.
So I have a pre-scheduled and prepaid vacation that is probably, I'll probably be back by the 7th, but I'll be gone for
Do the
12
8th?
days before it. So let's see. Yeah, I'm coming back the 6th. And so I can't do any prep for the 4 days before that.
The 8th?
That's fine by me.
Sure.
Yeah. Because it's I basically, I need a day to get back up to speed. You're gone December,
I know.
not January. Okay.
How would you do that?
We could do the 9th. You want to do the Thursday? Wait, hold on. Aren't they gone?
Hey, is Dan still back there? Dan?
Yes.
We don't let him leave. We need to sign paperwork on this case, please.
No, it's that week. I think we're. I don't know if we're leaving 10.
So I'm coming back the 6th. And the state is going to do baby DA school whatever week they're going to do it. But I would strongly suggest not having a trial that week because it'll be chaos.
Right, it'll be from the 12th.
Yeah, and the DA's office has asked us not, hey, we need to do the paperwork. please.
Oh, then we can do like the 8th.
Yeah.
So the 8th or the
Um,
9th?
Huh?
The 8th or the 9th?
The 9th, yeah.
They'll leave it at 10.
Well,
Yes, we leave on the 12th.
okay.
So Sunday.
So yeah, we could do 8, and then that'll give us 2 days, or that'll give us 3 days, 8, 9, and 10.
Can we do the 8th, please?
I'll bring
So
sandwiches.
the 8th, 5th, and then the 9th.
Yeah, okay, done.
I like to steak judge.
I know, it looks like he may be in custody. I don't know, depending on.
Well, hey, it's all the easier to find him if he is in felony court.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think his aberrant behavior is more mental health than drug use. I mean, there's large overlap, but
Did you reach out to the mental health unit?
the problem is my case is getting dragged behind the felony. So it's just, they're all out of the same transaction.
Are we doing?
Are you ready?
It's just for him.
Mr. Harrison?
Yeah.
They make drill.
Where's Michael? Did he leave?
He's covering a motion to suppress your warrant. He's on and becoming that judge. Do you need him?
Well, I wanted to see what his position as far as conditions on the probation were, you know. Does he, as far as conditions about whether going to being allowed to go back to the stadium, you know?
Being allowed to go into where?
Because I'll tell you, what is the last name?
Justin Harrison?
Harrison, that's right. So Harrison, you know, typically when we have a theft case and we put someone on deferred, we prohibit them from having any contact with wherever that theft occurred. So if it were a Macy's or a Walmart, we do a theft, we do the probation, and as part of the condition of the theft, we order you not to go back. So you got to understand that I'm going to order you not to go back to this place. You're not allowed to go back. If you go back, I'm going to put you in jail. There's serious consequences. You
To that
realize that?
store, correct, Your Honor?
Yes.
To that specific store, correct?
No, to the stadium. I don't want him to go back. You know, I don't want there to be another theft there. You know, that's, you know, you're lucky enough to get it deferred as it is. I'll tell you, the DA's office wanted you to do 30 days in jail. You know, your lawyer you're lucky to be walking out of here because your lawyer, you know, you can't continue to pick up cases and expected results. You're now working your third theft case. What do you want? At some point, they're going to hit you with a felony.
I don't want that to happen. Thank you.
So, you know, I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves a chance. You've never gotten a chance to do probation. I will give you the opportunity, but it's not going to happen again. You know, how old are you now?
47.
You're 47. If you haven't gotten a hold of life and what you can and can't do at 47, perhaps you don't deserve probation. You know what I mean? Really, you're old enough. You probably have the means. You know, you're not like a 16-year-old kid going to take beer or food or clothes to you know, clothe your children. You're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys do not have an agreement with the state. You're asking to come to me to punish you. Is that right? Okay. Understand that you give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine the accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Now, you're asking me to put you on a deferred. I will. I'm going to make it a 2-year deferred. But what I will do is if you do well, as a reward, we'll take you off early. You will be required to do a thinking for a change class. You will be required to do an anti-theft class. So restitution has been paid, or did they not get?
Has been taken care of, Judge. They recovered the merchandise.
They did recover all the merchandise. They didn't get anything, or all the merchandise they were able to recover it back. Okay. So I'm going to sentence you to 180 days. I will suspend that and put you on a deferred for 2 years. Like I said, don't pick up any new cases, no drugs, no alcohol. All I want you to do with these classes is to learn something, right? I'm not going to put any community service because there's just no need. A $100 donation one time to Crime Stoppers. This is important because like I said, if you have 2 thefts on your record, a third, you're looking at a felony offense, years instead of days. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you violate this probation in any way, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. I'll bring you back out in orange. And we will have a discussion as to whether you violated this probation. If you did, then you're looking at 180 days in jail. Do you understand?
Sir.
All right. So I'll send you to the probation. Just do well.
Yes,
Be
sir.
nice to everybody. That's all we're asking for. And don't be a danger to the community. All right.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to better myself.
You know, I think you'll do well. You know, just reward us and be nice. That's all we're asking. All right. Good luck. Yeah. With, is it?
Stadium, Minute Maid?
Yeah. No contact with Minute Maid Stadium. You know, and I got to say, before you even go, because this is only for 2 years for now, right? And if you do well, we'll cut you loose in a year. And then after that, you'll have access. But when you get arrested for an offense at a stadium, they may, in and of itself, bar you from going back to that stadium. And I don't know if they have or not, because you have a license to go there, right? They can always revoke it, right? You don't have, unfettered access to them. They can tell you, hey, we don't want you back here ever again. So before you go back, I would somehow check to see if you're able to go back after this is done.
Yes, sir.
All right? Okay. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, yes. All right, Mr. Cabrera. You're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked in agreement. They're offering you a 9-month deferred with no harassing, threatening, or abusive contact with Renee Quintanilla. Who is that?
It's my mom's next door neighbor. I've been living with my mom throughout my drug use for the past 8 years. So
careful with this person, because all they have to do is call up the DA's office and go, hey man, or even the cops go, hey man, he's harassing me. Boom.
I've already apologized to him, but even though not through my mother, I told my mother, hey, I fully apologize, and I moved out and I went to the sober living house, and I was going by what the bond said. So
just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
As part of the agreement, you will do an effective decision-making class and anger management class at TRAS with the conditions, and the DDRP as a condition as well. Is this how you understand it?
So the time's going to be going concurrent as I'm in the program with probation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a good point. It's like setting him up to fail. Because what I'm saying is that this is a 9-month probation, yet he's going to be spending 3/4 of that time in DDRP. He's going to get out. There's no way he's going to be able to do these 2 classes within a month of being released from
online classes. They're not
going to have a computer.
when you get out.
The point I'm trying to make is that you're going to spend at least 6 to 7 months in the facility. This is a 9-month probation. So the minute you get out, you're going to have to complete these classes. Are you going to be able to get that done?
I'm going to be in the program DDRP for 7 months.
That's what it takes.
Why not just put me on probation?
You are. That's what this is.
Without that DDRP.
No.
Because that's what you need. That's what we were saying. That's why this thing is so expensive, that you're getting into this
It's
thing.
going to be my same judge if it so happens that they say that, hey, we're going to lock him up because he failed to do this.
Stay with me for the next whoever, for how long I can be here, you'll be with me.
Who's to say that they're not going to lock me
Mr.
up? again?
Cabrera, we're not here to punish and enslave. We're here to see that you get better and that you make something with your life. We want you to leave here better than you came in.
He's not going to incarcerate you for anything as long as you do what you're supposed to do.
I just want to see effort. I want to see that you're bettering yourself. That's all I want. Did you get your high school diploma?
Get my GED.
Boom. That's part of it.
So why were you saying it was going to set me up to fail, though?
Because it gives you a very limited amount of time to complete the classes from the time. But we'll work with you. We're not here to set you up to fail. I'll work with you however much you need, however much time you need. I'm going to take the money off of everything so you won't have to pay for anything. It's never about the money. It's about you just doing what you're saying you're going to do. And most importantly, staying clean. That's what I care about. And getting your GED. Because you got to have that at a minimum in life. All right? You give up a lot of rights by entering the agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this. Do you understand? How do you plead to the offense of terrorist threat? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will not find you guilty. I will withhold that for 9 months. Just make us proud. That's all I'm asking you to do, Mr. Cabrera. Can you get it done? Please do. I want you to be successful. If you ever need anything, just come back. Let Carl know. I'll help you out however you need it. All right? Okay, man.
Am I allowed to just, if I have a problem or something I need, I can just come into the courtroom at 8:30 in the morning, any day?
Anytime.
All right.
Or you can call it.
call you.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mozo,
Yes.
is it true or untrue that you violated your probation? I'm gonna find that it's true. I'm now gonna sentence you to the 45 days in jail, give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. Understand, this is gonna go on your record. It'll be there forever. You ever pick up another DWI, you're gonna be looking at a whole lot of time in prison. Don't get into a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol. You're taking a humongous risk. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, good luck to you, friend.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Oh, the enhancement. Shit.
Yes.
Damn it. I'm just so busy. I'm sorry, my fault.
It's okay.
Most. Are you sure? Okay, ciao.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I found no probable cause in your cases and they're being dismissed today. You go back to this location and you go back all covered up like you are with the hoodie, mask covered on in a high crime area. How do you think the officers are going to look at you?
Yes, sir.
Right. Perception is reality. If you look like a thug, people will treat you like a thug. So I'm finding no probable cause. All I'm telling you to do is be careful. Because life is difficult, and the older you get, it gets more difficult. If you don't have a future, you're gonna have a terrible life. Life is a journey. It can either be really good or it could be an awful journey where you never do anything in life, ever have no money, and never take no vacations. Do you have a child? 90% of divorces in this country are because people have no money and all they do is fight. Do something with your life, Mr. Mack. Don't be a statistic. All right, guys. Good luck.
You there, Judge?
Yeah. I've given you a list of 11 places that you can go to start working on your GED. And I'm giving you 2 weeks. I want to see what you've done.
Okay.
I'm not going to wait till January. Education doesn't wait. Your career doesn't wait. You need to get started on it now. Especially if you got a kid on the way?
No.
Okay, good. Don't.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Don't.
Yes, sir.
Keep it in for now. Don't go have a kid. That's the worst thing you could do at this time. Get your career, get yourself settled first before you start having kids. It's the worst possible thing you can do at this time. You understand? I'm glad that you're clean. You're doing great. You're making me proud. Just keep it up. The next step is this. I want you to start working on your education. It's the most important thing in your life that you can possibly do. Hey, the better education you have, the more money you're going to make in life. Do you understand? 2 weeks, I want you to be signed up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see you then. Okay.